So if we have all these statistics, why do we prefer one to another? Well, let's take a look at that. We have some data here, and I can show you what the parameters of that data are, what the real values in the data. We're going to take a look at the ones we've been talking about: mean, median, standard deviation, interquartile range, and the range are measures of center and spread that we've been doing. So when we click OK, we'll see what those are. The mean's about 0, the median as well, the standard deviation's close to 1, the range is over 8, and the interquartile range is close to 1.3. Now it turns out these are the statistics for nearly 500,000 data points. What we'd like is to be able to get an idea of what that real mean is just by looking at a sample. So what I've lined up here are samples of size 25, and I'm going to look at the means and the medians of all those samples on a dot plot. When we look at those means and medians from samples of 25, these are fairly small samples, what we're going to see is that they're both fairly close to 0, but the values for the median are spread out higher and lower than the values for the mean. The mean's more consistent. That's the statistic that we learn more from with less data. That idea that we learn more from less data is very powerful, a very valuable idea. It works out that something similar works out with this measures of spread as well. We're talking about standard deviation, the interquartile range, and the range, though the differences are even more extreme in this case. So remember, we know what those real values are, and the first thing you're going to see is that the range goes up only to about 6.3, 6.7 maybe, when the real range is 8.25. That's because it would be very rare to get a sample that had both the minimum value and the maximum value in it at the same time. And so we wouldn't see that range of 8.25 unless we got a sample of only 25 data points that did that. So we also notice that it's a lot more spread out, and that's what's going on with the difference between the interquartile range and the standard deviation as well. There's a lot more spread for the interquartile range. We need more data to be certain about what it really is. And the standard deviation has the nicest mathematical properties. We know the most about it with the least amount of data.